Board of Pompano Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, January 21st, 2025. If I could ask everyone to please silence their cell phones or put them on vibrate during the meeting, that way we don't get disrupted by a telephone call, that would be great, so please silence the cell phones. Let's go ahead and call the roll, Mr. Alfred.
Yes, Mayor. Commissioner Fezzik. Commissioner Perkins.
Here.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Here.
Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Vice Chair Fournier.
Here.
Mayor Harden.
Here, and just for the record, Commissioner Fezzik, she advised she had a family emergency and could not be here today, so we miss her. Very good. Please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good, thank you. Be seated. On our agenda, let's see, approval of minutes. Let's see, can I get a motion to approve the City and CRA Board Joint Special Meeting Minutes of November 12th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Can I get a motion approving the CRA Board Meeting Minutes of September 17th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. That takes us up to our agenda. Today we will be striking item number 1 from the consent agenda, so item 1 is stricken. Any other changes to our agenda, Mr. Harrison?
No, sir.
Very good. Can I get a motion approving the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. There is no consent agenda today, so we don't have to worry about that. No special presentation today. That takes us up to audience to be heard. Kervin, do we have anyone signed up for audience to be heard?
Yes, Mayor, we have 2 speakers.
Very good.
First speaker, Michael Shaversky, followed by Devin King.
Very good. Just name and address to the record, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael Skaversky, 1630 Southwest 5th Avenue, Pompano Beach, Florida. The only reason why I put on long pants today and showed up was Commissioner Beverly Perkins, a couple years ago, I think, she was complaining about the senior center parking, and it was too small. Then I guess I was there maybe about 1.5 years ago. Nothing was done. I drive by it all the time, and unfortunately, I'm like most people, I'm not paying attention. So I went for the first time in there in November. Okay, she says it's too small. It is too small. The big problem is the parking. It is an absolute disgrace. We have elderly people, 65, 75, 85, probably some in their 90s, that can barely walk, that are parking their car all the way around the corner because whoever designed the parking lot, it's too darn small. Now, for some strange reason, we have a few up here that are all for a nice flower bed and some waste of money at this McNabb house, so we can move on that. We've got 90% of the people that live in the Northwest area are against gentrifying the area, but yet you cannot move quickly, as in now, on making the parking lot larger at the senior center. I think it's ridiculous. You've got a lot of handicapped people there, and I'm telling you, they are going almost all the way across the street from here to get into the senior center. It's a disgrace. Now, also adding to that senior center, whoever designed on how you get in and how you get out, I sure as heck hope they're not working for the city anymore. We have some people up here that I guess have 180 IQs and they're as smart as they come. But to go like this and to get in there is ridiculous. When you go in a lot, you just go in and you go out. You don't have to go like this the way they designed it. That needs to be torn up. Just one way in, one way out. It's absolutely foolish. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, drive by there later. You'll see it. And when I got there this morning, one person made the left-hand turn, and they're going around this jigsaw that was made, and they went over to the next area because it screws you up. You know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know who made this, who designed this project. It's a total foolish idea. In, out. That's it. You don't need anything fancy, especially for people that are old, and a lot of them can't see that well. And guess what? If it was in the dark, I'd be driving up on the median all the time. I wouldn't be able to see it because it's so screwed up. But I suggest you move quickly on advancing and making the parking lot larger. I'm not sure if the city owns the land to the left or to the east, but that would be the smartest thing to add on to the parking lot so people, the elderly people, can get right into the building.
Very good, thank you, appreciate that input. Next speaker,
Mayor,
Commissioner Perkins.
yeah, there has been a concern about the parking at the center, and I know that it's in place to be done, but of course, there's no movement, of course, again. So, yeah, the way it was designed for exiting and entering the facility is a little off because it's connected to the apartments to the east. I don't know why that's so, but it is a problem. So we do need to try to start on that parking lot right away because the seniors, I think, requested that over maybe a year or so ago. So it has been a problem, and I don't know why we haven't started on that as of yet. That's it. Thank you.
Very good, thank you, Commissioner, appreciate it. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Delvin King. Yesterday was the MLK parade, and I'm pretty upset today that we prepared for a parade, and for some reason, I don't know who made the decision, because I spoke with BSO, I spoke with a city official, and I spoke with the MLK committee, and nobody could give me a direct answer on who made the executive decision after the parade was supposed to start that we were going to cancel the parade. You guys knew what the weather was going to be like. You knew what it was, and you purposely waited until 9:05 to cancel a parade. All of us were standing in the rain, ready to go, ready to move forward with the parade, and somebody just being nasty canceled the parade. I want to know who made that call. Fort Lauderdale did their parade, no problem. Deerfield did their parade, no problem. But here in Pompano, we choose to do what we want to do. When it comes to our parade and our side, we want to do what we want to do. We don't care if we do it or not. And people paid money to put floats together. People took their time to come out and have some. But we for sure had that thing out there. We ain't cancel that. We ain't cancel the celebration. We ain't march. We shook our ass for Martin Luther King out there at the celebration, but we couldn't march. We couldn't march around the community. So I want to know why. Why was that done? Because y'all wasted my time. And I want to know, Mr. City Manager, because I'm sick of the MLK committee. They so nasty. Every meeting they have is a secret, and all of them can know because I know they probably watching. They nasty. So what can we do to get another committee together? Somebody else with vision, because all them fools on that committee, and yeah, all of y'all on the committee, you're foolish, you're stupid. You have no vision. I know y'all watching. They have no vision. So we want to bring in a new committee. And if it was BSO that canceled the parade, let's not use BSO next year. Let's use FHP. Because I want to plan my own parade. I want to plan my own, so nobody can cancel it for us. We can have it somewhere else in Pompano. So I want to know, what can I do? When I put my application, because MLK committee, they're going to put their application in next year, but I want to put mine in too, to have my own parade. I want to have my own parade in a whole nother area, and I won't use BSO because that's going to be your next excuse. Oh, BSO ain't going to cover 2 parades. I have my own with FHP because I know they'll do it. They'll block the roads off. So when I put my application in, don't deny my stuff. Let me have my own event on MLK Day because y'all played this year. And are you going to reschedule the parade? Is it going to be rescheduled? So is it going to be rescheduled? Are you going to approve my stuff? And who made the decision to cancel it?
Thank you, Mr. King. Appreciate that. I can answer one question for you real quickly. There is no reschedule of the parade. The rest of the questions you have, you can just email the city manager. He'll get back with you on it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you're not going to reschedule the parade?
No, sir.
Why not? So who can I have the conversation with? Hold on. Who can I have the conversation with?
I'm going to ask you I'm
didn't
going to
re-
ask
listen,
you.
raising your voice.
You're
and
over.
There's no need for you to
you're
raise your
over
voice.
3-minute limits.
I'm
I
not a
already
child.
asked you to contact the city manager.
Okay, he here right now. Why he can't just answer the question
Email the
now?
city manager. Your 3 minutes are over,
I understand that, but why he can't answer the question now?
Mr. King. I'm going to
Yes.
ask you once.
Mayor,
Commissioner Perkins?
I agree with Mr. King. I started, I think, texting about 6:30 on Monday morning, inquiring about the parade because of the weather. Now, we knew the day before the weather prediction, and something should have been said or done at that particular time. But so many people have called me and asked me, why did I call it off? And it was not my call, it was the MLK president that canceled. So why would you let everybody stand there in front of the church at Mount Calvary, and then 5 after or 6 after 9, you cancel it? And everybody was ready to go. And several people spent a lot of money on buses, you know, those big, like Greyhound buses. That was a lot of money. And they lost all their money just because we canceled at the last minute. And we knew the day before the weather prediction was 85 to 95% rain. But we waited until everybody was standing there and ready to go, and then canceled it. And I thought that was very disrespectful on behalf of the community. It should have, you know, once we're there, we're there. So if you were gonna cancel it, it should have been done the day before, because we knew what to expect with the rain conditions. So the other thing with the Martin Luther King Committee, we need to make it very public when they're having committee meetings, so that the community can be involved and give more input to make it a much nicer, bigger, and better event. Not saying that it's not, but it's just that more people need to be involved in the planning of the Martin Luther King Committee. So I think we need to publicize when they're meeting, because I think the city will help funding the celebration. So we need to make it very public, maybe on the city website, or flyers or announcements in churches or whatever, to let people know when they're having their meetings, because I don't even know when they meet. I have no idea. They don't inform me as well. So with that being said, yes, you brought up a good point. It should not have been canceled, in my point of view, not at that late date, because everybody was there, and if you chose to walk in the rain, you do. If you didn't, you didn't have to. So that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good, thank you. Thank you, Mr. King.
So can you just answer the question? Who made the call?
Mr.
Counselor.
King, your 3 minutes are up. Please contact the city
I'm
manager's
asking
office.
you who made the call to
Thank you,
cancel it,
Mr.
so I
King.
can go to my seat.
Contact the city manager's office. Thank you.
Who made the call?
Mayor?
Oh,
Just,
so
thank
you
you,
ain't
Mr.
gonna
King.
answer? You was out there. You was in the front.
Mr. King, Mr. King, I'm going to ask you to please.
Just answer the question. Who made the call?
Mr. King, contact the city manager's office.
I'm telling him now. He can just say who made
Thank
the
you,
call.
Mr. King. Your 3 minutes are up.
Why you can't tell the
This is my
public-
first warning, sir.
why you can't-
This is my first warning. I'm going to
Okay,
ask
why can't you
to go
tell the
sit
public
down
who
and
made
be
the call?
quiet. Thank you, Mr. King. Have a good day.
And Mayor, that concludes the audience to be heard.
Thank you. Got Commissioner, Vice Mayor Fournier, you want to?
Foolish.
Thank you. I do believe you sent an email. I've been in receipt of a few emails of people who were disappointed by the process yesterday. I was out there also and was surprised it was canceled and disappointed. So I did feel bad for the community and for all of the parties that were prepared with their floats and ready to go. I do think we need more transparency on what happened, and I would like to know how the committee is selected in the future. So, Mr. Harrison, you were out there. Was it a BSO safety decision?
Yes, ma'am.
It was a BSO safety
BSO
decision.
had traveled the route of the police.
We need to, please end your conversation. If you want to have a conversation, you need to go out in the lobby area. I need quiet in here to run the meeting.
I'm out of the meeting. You don't want me here.
No, sit down and be quiet.
You just told me I'm out of the meeting.
Sir, would you like to sit down or would you like to talk outside?
No, but what did you just tell me? Don't
That's,
say one thing.
but,
That's the problem
Mr. King, I'm going to ask you to either sit down and be quiet or take your conversation out in the, or take your conversation out in the lobby. This is your second warning. Mr. King? Yep. Thank you.
So,
Very good.
as
Go
I
ahead.
was saying, BSO had taken the route, and the thing was, everybody was hoping the sprinkling would let up. It was heavy, and it was light, and it was heavy, and it was light. So that was the reason for the hesitation on canceling it. After BSO had taken the route, there were several areas on the streets that were completely covered with water on both lanes. So people would have had to have walked in the water, and it was dangerous.
Okay.
So that was the reason that they gave Mr. Hall that, it should be canceled.
Okay. I did ask a few questions yesterday if there was some modified route we could take, because the parade does tend to be long and there are big sections of it where there are not grandstands or people along the route. So I do think it's an opportunity to look at the parade also and do better next year. Make sure that we have the right route, and it's a long parade. And I know that we want to cover as much of the area as possible, but we tend to have big gaps on the route. So, I was hoping we could modify it and do something yesterday, but I guess that didn't work out. So I would like to know how the committee is selected and more transparency on that in the next year. Thank you.
Very good.
Mayor?
Commissioner Perkins? I'm sorry, Commissioner. Mr. Harrison?
I was just going to respond that the committee is a 501c3 of their own. We do not have anything to do with the appointment of the committee members or, their business. We don't get into their business.
So we contract with them to put on the events?
We do.
Okay.
It's not necessarily our contract that puts on the event. We are one of several sponsors that they have. So,
Yeah, I was able to get out for the golf tournament on Friday, and it was well attended. It was also probably 6 different weather patterns throughout the day on the golf course, and we managed to get it done. So it was a little frustrating yesterday, since if you made the choice to be there, you obviously knew that it was going to be raining. So thank you.
Mr. Perkins?
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. City Manager, can you get back with me and let me know the roads, or where was it flooding that the committee or the parade could not walk? Because I drove the parade route on my way to the church, which is the beginning and the start, and there was no flooding that I noticed that I passed. So if you could get that information to me, I would appreciate
I
it.
didn't say flooding, ma'am. I said there were areas where water was in both lanes, from one shoulder of the road to the other shoulder of the road. And that was what BSO was very concerned about, as it could create a dangerous situation. And I can sure get with you and go over that. Captain Stallings led that.
Okay, but if you can get back with me on that part, that was water that they were talking about, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Further audience to be heard?
No, Mayor. So no further audience to be heard.
Very good. Thank you for that. That takes us up to our regular agenda. Item number 2 is a resolution.
A resolution of the Pompano Beach Community Redevelopment Agency approving and authorizing the proper officials to execute a facade and business site improvement program grant agreement between the CRA and Pompano Design LLC relating to the property located at 2666 East Atlantic Boulevard, providing an effective date and for other purposes.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded for discussion. Good afternoon, Ms. Mulder.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Sarah Mulder, CRA Project Manager, and I'm here today to present to you a facade and exterior improvement grant application for Pompano Design LLC for the property located at 2666 East Atlantic Boulevard. And for the sake of the new commissioners here, I just wanted to give a little bit of a background on this program. So annually, the CRA board approves a strategic finance plan for the Pompano Beach East CRA district, which identifies certain redevelopment initiatives, and these incentive programs are one of them to address investment obstacles to new or existing businesses who fall within our boundaries. The program itself, an overview, it will cover 80% of eligible project costs up to a maximum of $20,000 per address. This particular program is for aesthetic improvements to the building structure. Security cameras may be included in conjunction with the overall physical facade improvements to the structure. This gives you an aerial view of the property. It's located at 266 East Atlantic Boulevard. The owner is Amkin Atlantic Square LLC, with the tenant, a new business coming in, Pompano Furniture and Design. They do have a 5-year lease. The program does require a minimum of a 2-year lease, so they are eligible to apply for this program. There are no current plans for redevelopment on this site as of right now. The proposed business, Pompano Furniture and Design, will be a retail furniture showroom and intends to be a premier destination for individualized furniture and interior design services, with the primary focus on providing high quality, customizable product lines made achievable through partnerships with suppliers, manufacturers, and other industry partners. By merging the retail aspect of furniture with comprehensive solutions offering interior design support, they will provide a seamless experience for their customers in creating their ideal living spaces. So they're looking for some exterior enhancements, a building facelift that will include exterior paint, stucco work, some decorative paneling, new front windows, doors, and signage. The total eligible project cost is around $25,255, with the program contribution of 80%, maximum of $20,000. This will be reimbursable also. This shows you the current conditions. It's been vacant for a while. And this shows you the proposed exterior enhancements. And I just wanted to show you that if you recall a few months ago that 26 Degrees Brewery also came in for a facade. The colors don't quite match here, but they will be the same color gray, so that the entire building will have a cohesive frontage. These improvements will be, actually 26 Degrees has already started painting, and I think they're pretty close to behind them as well once they receive approval. And then timeline per their agreement, they are to obtain a building permit within 6 months of the effective date, so by July, and they should commence construction within a year, and work must be completed no later than 24 months of the effective date, which would put that by January 2027. However, I think this will be done much sooner. They're ready to open and, eager to get this project going. And I do want to note that this was approved unanimously at the East CRA Advisory Committee on December 12th, 2024. Thank you, and that concludes my presentation. I'll take any questions about the program itself, but I do have the business owner, Richard, here as well, if you have any questions for him about his business. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion, questions, concerns. Let's see, I've got Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton, followed by Commissioner Perkins.
Wow, thanks, Mayor. I think this is just fantastic to see some businesses coming in and enlivening the shopping center there. And the aesthetic treatment, it just looks fantastic. I can see going down and window shopping or browsing, and then going over to 26 below and having a tapas or a beer or something. So, and this just fabulous to have this here in Pompano Beach. It's really exciting. And we have a lot of the new units. People are going to need to buy furniture, and so I'm totally in favor of this. And thanks for taking advantage of the program that we have here at the city. And that is what it's designed for, to get businesses moving along and creating a more pleasant environment and a more pleasing aesthetics here in the city. So, all in favor? Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Perkins?
Thank you, Mayor. On the program grant agreement on page 1, the first paragraph, it says there, Florida Statue 501, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, Pompano Beach, Florida. Why is that there?
That's just the address, that's the address of the Pompano Beach CRA office.
Their office address?
Our office, yep, it's just, I mean, I don't know if Claudia wants to answer, but it's just showing the two entities, the CRA with the business, Pompano Design LLC.
Oh, okay. All right. So do we have anything planned for Atlantic Boulevard? Is that the best place to put I know we're talking about the facade design, but is that the best place we want to put a furniture store just before the Intercoastal?
So they're allowed by right. So they chose that location. I mean, that might be a better question for them why they chose that location, but they're eligible for this program, and we think it's a good fit.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Very good. Vice Mayor?
Thank you. So I know that this eventually will be redeveloped, and we talked about this when we did the 26 degrees grant and investment. So we have at least 5 years before, if not more, before the shopping center will be redeveloped.
Probably. We haven't heard any movement from them whatsoever.
Okay, so there's no update from the developer on that.
Correct.
So I do think that this consistent, cohesive look between the two of them, since it kind of appears like one section of the building there, will be nice instead of leaving the Family Dollar as is and doing all that work next door to 26 degrees. So I think this is a good use of the grant program. Just for the public's sake, can we quickly discuss this grant program and the eligibility for it in the Northwest CRA also? Do we have the same exact or similar grant program that is available to any business owners in the Northwest CRA?
Correct.
Okay, so if someone were to do a similar type of build-out or investment on West Atlantic, on the north side of West Atlantic, they could apply for this grant funding.
Correct, as long as they're within the Northwest CRA boundaries.
East of 31st, yeah.
Correct, yep.
Okay, so I think it's a good use of this. Thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion? Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Yeah, we've done a couple of these in the Northwest CRA. McMillan's Barbecue, I think that's,
Correct.
it comes to mind. Do you, off the top of your head, can you cite a couple more? I think there's been some done.
So, yeah, I know in my time, the Vault, which was in Old Pompano, McMillan's, South Bar and Kitchen,
Freeman Funeral Home, I think.
yeah, there were a few.
Yes.
And the main, it just has to be a commercial or retail business within the boundaries. And then it's first come, first served basis with what our funds are budgeted each year.
Each year. So we
Yeah,
get a-
I and B medical too, excuse me.
So so we do, excuse me, those funds get replenished annually. So there's opportunities, plenty of opportunities for business. Great, thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion? Very good. Well, congratulations. Let's go ahead and call a roll.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chair Fournier,
Yes.
Chair Harton.
Absolutely. Look forward to the ribbon cutting. Thank you. All right, that takes us up to additional audience to be heard.
No additional sign notes, Mayor.
Very good. Takes us up to reports. Mr. Harrison, Executive Director.
No report, sir.
Very good. CRA Attorney, Ms. McKenna.
No report, just wish everybody a happy new year and looking forward to another great year in Pompano.
Very good. Thank you for that. Our next meeting date will be February 18th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Takes us up to board member reports. Commissioner Perkins.
Thank you, Mayor. I just, I've asked for an update on the new downtown monthly, and I've not received that. So are there any updates on the new downtown, Mr. City Manager?
That update will be coming to you this week.
This week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, meaning in an email or?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Also, I do have several projects, of course, in my district that are still at a standstill, and I need an email or something from you, and I'm sure you know what those projects are because we've been talking about them for the last year and a half. If I can get an update on those projects again to see where they are and how we're moving with them. The one being the parking lot next to the Annie Adderley Gillis Park, the beautification on Northwest 6th Avenue, and also the update for the Ultimate Sports Park. And I think it was one more, I'm trying to remember. Oh, the youth center, but I think we're moving along with the youth center, okay. But if you can get back with me on those particular projects, I would appreciate it, and I look forward to receiving the information regarding the new downtown. Thank you. Oh, and one other thing. Was this meeting really pressing that we had to have a meeting today for 2 items only? Was the facade design, was that a time certainty or something for us to meet for two agenda items?
So they were initially ready to come to the December meeting, and we typically ask them to not do any construction until they receive approvals here before the board. So they're ready and anxious to get going on their work. So we didn't want to hold them back.
Okay, thank you. I'm done.
Very good. Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton.
Yeah, I just want to wish everyone a happy new year as well. And just want to let everyone know that if they're having any issues with the undergrounding efforts in District 2, with FP&L, MASTAC, Next Level, I would like people to contact me at my email at the city, so I can be aware of the things that are going on, especially on private property in the rear yards, just so I can ensure that everything's being put back, or any damage that's been done gets repaired, et cetera, et cetera. So I've received some calls here and there, and so I just want to ask folks to please contact me if you have any issues regarding that. So the other thing that I want to talk about a little bit were the sewer rate increases. I received some emails and sort of implying that we, the city, are not rolling up our sleeves or sharpening our pencils or doing the work. But I wanted to make them aware that, in fact, District 2 pays directly to the county. District 2 doesn't get a pass-through rate, and neither does District 4, for that matter. We pay directly to the county. So, and I just want to say that somehow I think it's completely unfair that residents can believe that the general fund can make up the difference when the people of District 2 and District 4 have no choice and pay into the general fund. It's unfair that District 2 and District 4 would be subsidizing sewer rates for the rest of the city. So I just want to put that out there, make that statement, because that's been an issue as well. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Smith.
I just want to say that I feel it's great that a business like Pompano Design, and I'm sorry that they left, a small business wanting to locate in our city And I think it is a great location for it, because usually furniture stores are all grouped together. They're out there where people can walk and people can come and take a look at their wares. And I'm just grateful that a small business is moving in there and that we're helping them.
Very good, thank you for that. Vice Mayor Fournier.
Thank you. I want to remind people that my community meeting is tomorrow, the 22nd, at the American Legion at 7 p.m. We will be joined by Tom DeGiorgio and Jeannie McIntyre to talk broadly about economic development in Pompano Beach. No specific projects, but they will be there to talk about the role of the EDC and answer questions. I also noticed that the pier is going to be closed the 24th and 25th. So next weekend, the pier will be closed due to Jazz Fest, I assume. But people should know that. And then I have some other comments based on some of the reports in the backup here. So in the monthly reports, it says professional services expenditures, October, November, December. And then when we go into the backup, I couldn't find that report. So I see all the security reports, I see the financial statements, the committee meetings, but not the report that should be in here on professional services expenditures. So if we could get that sent to us, I would appreciate that, because it's missing from the backup. And then one last thing, so in the last week, it's become clear to me that some of the people who regularly come to our CRA and city commission meetings and promote certain projects and criticize certain commissioners are actually contractors of the city. We don't have the details yet. I assume we'll be getting that this week, and I look forward to seeing it. But I want to make sure we get all the contracts for the CRA also. And there was some confusion the last time about my terminology, calling these professional, because I asked the questions and I've asked it over and over, calling them professional/consulting services agreements, and there was some pushback on that, but that is exactly what they are called, agreements for professional and consulting services. So these are the things that I'm looking for, exactly what I've been calling them, agreements for professional and consulting services. So that was in the context of the increased spending threshold when I used that terminology that seemed to confuse the city, even though that's what your contracts are called. And then one last thing on that, like I said, it became clear that there is a contract with someone who comes and speaks routinely. And Mr. Harrison, I appreciate your email the subsequent day correcting the record that we do actually have a contract with this person, but I'm certain you weren't the only person in the room who knew that at the time. So from my perspective, if someone else in the room knows something or has an honest answer, it's your obligation to give that answer. So Mayor, I'm sure you had signed that contract, but didn't step up and say anything to correct the record. Mr. Berman was here at the time. I'm certain he probably prepared it or was aware of it too. So I feel like if we know the answer, we should be giving it to both the commissioners and the public. That's it. Thank you.
Very good, thank you, Vice Mayor. I just want to say congratulations to Jack Rogerson for his 17 years as chairman of the ECRA Advisory Committee. He's done a great job down there, but he has passed the baton on as the committee elected someone else as their chair. So thank you, Jack Rogerson. Of course, thank you to everyone who serves on our advisory committees, not just the CRA, but throughout the city. Very good. With nothing further, this meeting's adjourned.